The first rock pinball machine I remember is Nugent. How did this come about with you being on a pinball machine?
I don't know. I think the world heard my music and they were so confused with what to do with the energy that they knew that somehow they had to legally find a way to play with my balls every night.
I'm Mike Dimas, and this is Pinball Shenanigans. Alright, boys and girls, we're back in the basement here with my Nugent project. So, what I thought I might do this time around is, since all the connectors are nice and accessible, I think I'm going to repin them before I put the head on. Pull them up through the neck, put the playfield down, and just take a close look and see what needs to be repinned. Like, what do we got here? They don't look too bad, what I'm seeing so far, but I'll go over all these and do any necessary repinning before putting the head on. I think it'll just make life a little bit easier. But all in all, man, those look pretty shiny. Wow. Huh. Is it possible someone did some repinning? Because these just look pretty darn shiny for their age, don't you think? Interesting. Well, who knows? We'll see. Did I ever tell you I kind of checked on the Varistor and it's definitely not blown? Because if it blows up, there would be like shrapnel and burn marks on the cabinet. And I, retaped up the wires there. So that's all happy again. But I want to talk a little bit about kind of Nugent history, because we didn't really get into that in the first video. It was just kind of set up an inspection. But I pulled up a couple things here. Let's check this out. First thing is Jeff Teolis on Pinball Profile actually did an interview with Ted Nugent a while back, episode 65, August 10th, 2017. So that's a while back now. And I only just noticed this photo because I was listening to the podcast last night on my phone through Pocket Casts, and just it doesn't show this photo at all. So this photo, Uncle Ted and Big Red chat about rock, pinball, and more. Okay, that's Teolis's Big Red. So he was kind of like Ted and Red Roadshow. But check this out. Pinball Warrior, Stern Electronics, Nugent digital pinball machine is tested by Ted Nugent at Stern Chicago factory, while Gary Stern and the firm's president looks on. Nugent's Weekend Warrior album cover is reproduced on the backboard of the new game. So that is Nugent and Gary Stern back in the Stern Electronics days. Isn't that wild? Look at this guy looking on. It's like, that's Nugent right there, man. He's a rock star. I really don't know much about Nugent. I think he's a controversial character, potentially. I don't know for sure. But ignorance is bliss sometimes, right? So, yeah, I'm going to listen to the podcast. Again, there's Teolis with Nugent and Big Buck Hunter. I'm not sure what the tie-in to Big Buck Hunter is. But, and there's Red and Ted. Red being Teolis and Ted being Nugent. So, I put it on last night and I've passed out pretty quickly. So I want to listen to the whole thing. Oh, I got a clip queued up here for you as well. Check this out.
Ted, over the past decade, there's been this resurgence, a widespread love of a great part of Americana, pinball machines. The first rock pinball machine I remember is Nugent. How did this come about with you being on a pinball machine?
I don't know. I think the world heard my music and they were so confused with what to do with the energy that they knew that somehow they had to legally find a way to play with my balls every night. I think.
So there you go. That's a little taste of this podcast. I'm going to check it out, and you may as well too, because I imagine it's pretty entertaining. I listened to it probably back when it first came out 5 years ago, but okay. So I've also queued up the Internet Pinball Database information here. It is in fact 1978, and they only made less than 2,500 of these guys. What else? So I've kind of alluded to in the last video that apparently Service Bulletin indicates that this game uses the same ROM as Electronimo. But then they mistakenly refer to the 3-bank as a 5-bank in the manual or something. And also, this game was manufactured in Australia under license as LAI's Nugent. I didn't know what LAI's was, so I pulled it up here. Oh, here we go. LAI is Leisure and Allied Industries, which obviously is an Australian company. So there's the plaque there showing it was made in Australia. And they only made, let's go back here, Australian-wise, 234 units. So that's pretty interesting. I wonder if they're basically exactly the same. There's something else here. What does this say? Nugent copyright, Stern Electronics, Inc. Oh, that looks like that is on the Backglass, right? So I wonder, oh, check this out. Okay, remind me, I'll show you my pile of crap over there. Throw the flash back on. I did bring my Backglass down. After all, I noticed the Internet Pinball Database was mentioning that they're looking for high-res images of the Backglass. So I thought I'd bust mine out. And I was right. The condition is actually pretty darn good. Look at that. I mentioned Mitch Ayer's Backglass was flaked almost completely off, except for Nugent himself. The rest of the paint was pretty much missing. So yeah, I guess this is the Weekend Warriors album. And like the art is from that album. But you can see there's a little bit of flaking at the bottom. But overall, for a Stern Backglass, it's this age, it is very impressive. I'm very happy with the condition of that. So Backglass playfield, the main curb appeal of this game will be pretty sweet when all is said and done, because they are in nice condition. Cabinet, as we know, it's a little chunky, but this is just some of the stuff that I was dealing with yesterday. Removed the one bracket. Now Stern Electronics makes a pretty hefty one of these. The Gottlieb ones are way thinner material. This is like beefy. Here's the old leg bracket that was stripped. I tried to rethread it, didn't work. Just some miscellaneous stuff that I found in the cabinet. So that's in a fuse that definitely looks blown. So I think we're going to be finding some power supply issues. But I am ready and prepared for that. If we need to replace the power supply, then I shall do that. But I think that's about all I wanted to mention. So there's a little bit of history about the machine. I'm going to listen to that podcast while I work away here and check the connectors and stuff. So yeah, I'll report back in a little bit once I make some progress. All right, I finally found some issues here. Check this out. Voila. Someone been doing something a little hacky. The pins don't look so bad, but I removed the electrical tape to find this. It looks like they extended these wires, so I should be safe to just chop them all off and repin them. And then, you know, finally finding some connectors, some terminals that aren't quite as shiny. I'm going to replace that. I haven't checked many of the 0.100 connectors yet, but that doesn't look too bad. I think this one I'm going to do to 0.156 connectors are so quick and easy that I'll probably just do most of them, because there's only like, you know, 3 wires on this whole connector, so that's pretty easy. I'm going to double check the wiring on this. I'm sure this is for the power supply. Make sure that it's wired up correctly, because if it's not, then maybe whatever problem they were having with the blown fuse and the notes, maybe they, yeah, if this is incorrectly wired, then that could be the solution. Okay, so I'm on to something, but I don't know what yet. But, oh, cute, look at the spinner. It's actually in really good shape. Nice. All right, I just opened up the envelope and I thought I might as well show you guys as well because that's pretty cool to open up the original Stern envelope here. This is your standard schematics. You know, I've got, oh, this is extra large, okay. Look at this. Someone's been writing something. I might be able to trace what is going on down here. I'm just assuming there's an issue. Like, maybe there's no issue at all, and I'm just chasing my tail, but it's fun to investigate. So this is Nugent specific, so that is good. It's not just generic. Let's see. So that's just generic because it's the SB100 soundboard. And I even might have a spare one of those soundboards. Oh, see, look at this. Memory lane solid state. So it's probably fine, though. I'm sure it's okay to use. Wiring diagram. That is for, looks like switch matrix, playfield wiring. Yeah, left return lane. Okay, don't need that right now. But here we go. Stern's Games General Book. What do we got here? I don't think I've seen this manual before. Okay, so like setting up for 120 volts or 115 volts, depending on where you're setting up this machine, what part of the world. Routine maintenance on location. Contact switch adjustments should not be filed or burnished. Yes, I did actually file the cabinet switches, but that's okay because they're high voltage switches. You don't want to be filing the low voltage switches. That's the trick here. All right, and then here we go, the original manual. That's pretty cool. Let's take a quick peek, just see if anybody put any notes in here. It's more settings. I guess the notes would be more in the schematics. But yeah, there we go. Switches, solenoids. So where does it say what solenoids are supposed to be where? Because I'm going to need to replace a couple solenoids. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Assembly coils. So the flippers, left and right, are supposed to both be 25 500 34 50 50s, and we know the left one is like 34 4500, I think, so that's going to be stronger, and we don't want stronger. We don't want to break stuff. So there we go. I've opened up the envelope, cracked the seal. All right, I'm gonna get to some repinning action. Okay, I busted out the head for fun as well, and I forgot about this kind of mess that's going on here. What I discovered is that this orange wire, this was burnt on stars as well. So I think it's a common one that gets hot. And you can see where it was located right here. Get a little crispy. There's a key right there beside it. So that's what's kind of going on in there. But they must have not had a terminal, so they just added this connector and directly soldered it to the power supply. So first thing I'm going to do is remedy this and kind of take a look at everything else. Some pretty bent up transistors here. These legs almost look like they might be touching there, so I'll have to check on stuff like that. And yeah, I'll go from there. How's the corrosion looking? Maybe not as bad as I initially thought. It's actually very good. Cool. All right, that's good news. So I don't know. There is a good chance that I may just connect this bad boy up and we'll see if it boots up today. Okay, making some progress here. I added a little bit of orange wire, some shrink tube, new terminal, trifuricon, and I checked all the fuses, and I replaced 4 out of the 6, I believe. I replaced the 3 amp. That was correct, except it wasn't slow blow. This was fine. You can see up here what it's supposed to be. F4 was supposed to be, and oh shit, hold on. Did I get that right? F4 is supposed to be, I think F4 is supposed to be 5 amp. This 3/4 amp on F2 was actually a 4 amp. So yeah, that's not good. But also I noticed the 3 screws for the bridges were all loose. So I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, if I have to replace it, I will, but I want to test it and see if I can figure out if I can get it to boot. That's the goal. So I am making progress. I just like, what, F3. I just want to triple check that I didn't screw anything up. Because it's like, what if I thought F4 and I went 4 amp and I kind of like too many F's and A's. So I'm going to just double check my work and make sure those fuses are in fact what they're supposed to be. They're also labeled on the board here, so I don't think I screwed up, but I'm going to triple check my work just to make sure and then move on from there. Do you see this? 5 amp. And do you see my fingerprints too? Don't steal my fingerprints, man. That is the display fuse. It's supposed to be a 1/4 amp. Glad I checked that one. All right, I think it's time to put on the head. But before I do that, I think it is time to get rid of all these potato bugs. All right, I'll give this head a bit of a wipe down before I stick it on. How does it get so muddy? Like, for reals. Okay, that looks a little bit better. A little less mud. So I'm gonna... am I gonna throw on the head right now? Or... I want to address that one connector. I think it's this, which I believe is J1. Yes, it is. And I've got the schematics over here. So I think... Oh, I threw that back in here. So I wasn't sure if I was going to put the head on or not. I think this is J1 for the power supply. It's 8 pins, but there's 4 wires. But on the schematics, let's see. Transformer J1 has 8 pins, 8 spots, but it looks like general illumination, feature lamp, solenoid bus, general illumination, key, spare, general illumination. What's that say? Return, general illumination, return, playfield. It's more than 4 wires, so that's where I am a little bit stuck here. Why does this say there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 wires, but I really only have 4 on that connector? This is Nugent, so I just got to sort that out before I repin that. I mean, I'm sure it's probably fine the way it is, but I like to double check that whoever did that connector did it properly. Hey, pull up a chair to my table and do some repinning. All right, this guy's done. Wrote repinned 2022. This guy's done. And then here, you can see the difference. Let's see, can you see the difference? The last 2 I haven't done yet. So they're a little crusty. They kind of look more crusty in person, I guess. They don't look as bad right now, but I think I'm getting close to the point where I'm going to just connect this head and power it on and see what happens. Actually, we'll be testing some voltages before any powering on happens of the CPU or solenoid driver. But we can turn it on and see if the power supply blows up, so I think we're getting close. Okay, I think I'm done repinning for now. And here is the shrapnel from my efforts. So I think it's time to stick Nugent's head on straight. All right, check it out. Nugent has a head. So I've got my head bolts, 3 of them in there. One I threw in the garbage because it was kind of stripped and was giving me a headache. So that bolt will never give anybody a headache ever again. And you only need 3 head bolts because we're not in an arcade throwing the machine around. Connected the ground strap to this strap. Make everything all happy. So I think it is time to plug this bad boy in, and then we'll have to keep an eye. I'm going to turn off this light on the power supply when we do this. Make sure that nothing blows up. So let's check the condition of our power cord. What is going on here? Why is there a zip tie in the cord like that? That's sketchy. Well, it's the shenanigander way. We're going to plug it in anyway. I may change this cord if I deem necessary, but just don't know why there's a zip tie right there. So, I got an outlet right here. We're going to use this guy, because this way we can keep an eye on our power supply. Okay, let's zoom in. Pretty sure the machine is off, so I'm plugging in 3, 2, 1. Okay, now here's the real test. Okay, please no fire. I'm a little concerned because I tightened all those bridge screws, and like, what if that shorted something out? You know, there's just only one way to find out. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Didn't hear the varistor blow up in the cabinet, and power supply didn't blow up. So I'm going to turn it off, and then I'm going to check all the voltages and see if I'm actually getting any voltage using these test points right here. Bust out my manual so I know what voltages they are. Pretty much think I know them all, but that's a good start, a good sign, so I will report back shortly. Okay, I just realized that was a bit of a false positive there, because I didn't have the AC plugged in. Basically, there was no power going to anywhere but the line filter and the varistor there. So now I've got power going into the power supply. This is going to be the true test. So we're going to do this all over again and plug this in 3, 2, 1. Holy shit, the machine is on. Okay. All right. Well, I just saw some general illumination come on, but nothing blew up. So let's do this again. I should have had my light off, but oh well, whatever. Okay, we're on. Check it out. We got GI. The life is slowly coming to this machine. Life is slowly happening. Does it look like any fuses blew up? No smoke. No shortage. Cool. Okay, now I can test my voltages. All right. The first signs of life, though. Isn't that exciting? I love it. Okay, let's keep on keeping on. Okay, let's check some voltages. You probably won't be able to see this very well, but... Okay, CTP3, 11.9. TP1 should be 5.4 volts DC. Test point 4, 7.3 volts AC. Test point 2, test point 5. So that's what voltages we want to have come out of all of our test points up there. I got my ground lead attached to the ground in the cabinet in the head there. All right, so we're on DC voltage. Test point 1 is here. And we got 5.87, supposed to be 5.4, so that's good. test point 2, 251, supposed to be 230 for the displays. That should be fine because it's not under load. 14.4, which is test point 3, 11.9, it's a little bit up, but that's, I think, perfectly fine. Now we're jumping to test point 5, should be 43 volts. Actually, it's a little bit low. But we'll move over to AC. This is supposed to be 7.3 volts AC. And we're at about 7. So, much to my surprise, we got good voltages. And yeah, that means we can move on to the solenoid driver board next. So, I guess we're going to do that. Give me one moment. Okay, I don't think I'm going to bore you with all the testing of voltages on the solenoid driver, but I am going to record me turning on the machine with it plugged in, just in case something happens. So, solenoid driver and power supply are fully hooked up, nothing else. So, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hey, wait a minute. Why is my MPU LED on? I guess I have connected voltage going to the MPU somehow via one of these two connectors or something. But good news is nothing blew up, and solid LED is not good, but I don't have those two connectors connected. So I'm going to check voltages, make sure everything seems to be within spec, and then the final test will be plugging in the rest and seeing what happens. All right, I can't test the voltages with this shield on, so it's kind of like taking a little look behind there. I've got it off, don't worry, I won't die, but I kind of like felt some heat right there, and take a look. Let's see. That resistor looks pretty cooked, and yeah, things are looking a little sketchy in there. Does that trace look a little... No, okay. So, I'm going to guess it's possible that the high voltage section might be in trouble on this board. Since my power supply is outputting good voltages, I think what I'll do is grab me, I think I have a known working solenoid driver, and then I can just yoink this bad boy out, because obviously there's at least one resistor there that is toast, so I'm just going to pull it and replace it with something that I know is in better shape than this, and I will be back. Okay, I went up to grab a circuit board or two. Saw Jay the neighbor out there about to unload a barbecue out of a pickup truck, so I jumped out there and gave him a hand, because doing it by himself would have been quite the pain in the arse. Oh, and then I kind of grabbed the thing wrong, and I kind of dropped the barbecue on its ass and broke one of the grills. So my help was maybe more harm than it was good. But it's a kind of an old school one. It was $60, so it wasn't like a $2,000 barbecue or anything. So it's not too bad, not too bad. But look what I found: 2 SB100 soundboards. Wait a minute. This looks like an SB100, right? Actually, do they both? Okay, one has this section populated, one does not. So, it looks like someone's tried to repair this big time. Look, socketed chip, socketed, new cap, new cap, new cap. And these look like new caps too. So, I just brought them down just for fun. Even if mine works, I could always plug these in, just test them to see if they work or not. So, here's the solenoid driver I found. I do recognize this board. I don't remember what it's from. Maybe a new connector here, new cap, and I see a new transistor and resistor, and I very well may have done that. I think I maybe did try and clean this up, but it was just a little too toasty. So this solenoid driver I have much faith in. I think this one is fine. Set that there. And this one here, I think this one came from my Electronomo. I remember I had an issue with one of the chimes, and I think I changed the transistor for the chime. Oh, this one's been changed. This one's been changed. So I had a few issues, it looks like. And I thought maybe I swapped out the solenoid driver in case it was suspect, but it turned out one of the wires on the chime coil was just kind of wrapped around in the, like, the wires just wrapped around in the lug there. It wasn't soldered, so that's why it was so intermittent. Drove me crazy. The only time I discovered it was like a week before I sold it. So the entire time I had it, it was intermittent, usually working. Occasionally, once in a while, he wouldn't get the chime, and I could never figure it out till one day I did. So I think this is going to be my candidate here. The only problem is I stole Q19, and I must have relocated it somewhere else. I'll have to check the schematics and see if Q19 is used. Wait, if this is Electronomo and it uses the same ROMs, then I bet you Q19 is not used on Nugent either. So I'll go digging in the schematics to find out for sure. But being from Electronomo and being a Stern board, I think I'll pop that in and go from there. Oh, and I forgot to mention that I did the improvements on the back side there, tying the capacitor's negative leg to ground there, and then tying in test point, 1 and 3 to keep the voltages consistent. So that is a bonus. That doesn't look like a very good soldering job there, Michael, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so here's the schematics to the solenoid driver. I see Q16, 12, 9, 13, 4, 7, 5, 2, 1, 6, 3, 8, 14, 10, 11. Do you see any Q19 anywhere? Am I missing? Could it be over here? Very well could be. Let's see. Do you see Q19? Q23. What about up here? But I just remembered Electronomo. Oh no, it doesn't have. I was thinking Stars. Electronomo does not have chimes. Stars does. So if Q18, Q15, Q17. Q19. I see it here. That might be doing something. Looks like they are SE9302s, which I believe you can just use tip 102s. Right 3 bank. Could it be for the resetting the drop target bank? Maybe I better populate that Q19. Actually, you know what? It's easy enough to take in and out the solenoid driver board. We want to get life. If we don't have one solenoid working, we can live with that until we just find out whether we have life or not. So I'm plugging it in. Okay, check this out. I went to look for some standoffs and I found a little baggie with 2 screws and 2 standoffs. And I put one there and I put one there because the old ones get old, brittle, and break. And I break them more when I pull them out of the machine there, pry them out with pliers. But we're going to have new standoffs and screws, so that board will not be flopping around like it was. So that's a bonus. I think I actually seen one more of those. Look at this. That's a pretty cool little kit. I don't know where I got those. Just some random miscellaneous standoffs, but yeah, bonus. There we go. I have plugged in everything. Let's take a closer look. Yep. Soundboard's plugged in. MPU's plugged in. Lamp driver. I don't really care too much if lamps don't work. I can always deal with that later. We just want to see if this MPU boots up. If not, I will bust out my Alltech MPU, all-in-one style. But this is it. Brace yourself for the Nugent action, or lack thereof. Okay, let's get down low here. All right. I'm not really sure what to expect. Maybe a CPU lockup. That's my guess. Okay. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2. Okay, we got 2 flashes. So something on our MPU is not working. And I bet you probably one of these PIA chips. This brand AMI. CAMI. They're known to be crap. So it could be something as simple as that. One way you can swap these two, because I think these two are the same. Could be NVRAM. RAM. Could be this other AMI chip. But I'm going to go check the codes. All right, let's hit reset for fun, see what happens. Nothing. Okay. All right. I will do a little research on the codes and see what 2 flashes. Let's double check that. 1, 2. I would say that's 2 flashes. Or is that first one? But the first flash is technically a flicker, isn't it? Are you calling this a flicker or a flash? Oh, did we just get nothing that time? Let's try this one more time. Oh, looks like we got nothing. That's interesting. Okay, well, I will be back. Okay, so I pulled up PinWiki here, and it steered me in the direction after checking the LED flash sequence to reseat one of the chips there, U7 I think it was. I reseated it. And now my LED is locked on nonstop. At least it's consistent. So basically, PinWiki is telling me to do the following. Remove all ICs except for U6, U9, U11, 12. If it is a Stern, Leon's test ROM is recommended for tricky MPUs. Allows you to leave out the U11, blah, blah, blah. Short pins 40 and 39 on the CPU chip. After doing so, go straight upstairs and go see if you have an Altec replacement board and forget all of this nonsense. So that's what PinWiki told me to do. And I did do that. Went upstairs, found an Altec MPU, and boom, here we go. Found that Nugent settings right here. Can pick whatever game you want. Notice that the clock jumpers need to be on the left side. I remember that from another Stern, because if you don't, the speed of all the sound and the speed of everything is just fast, and it's really weird and creepy. Actually, I should keep the clock jumpers on the right just to show you for fun. So I found an Altec MPU. It's an older one with my note here. It says was in Harlem Globetrotters. I sent it to Dave at Altec, and it should be perfect. The only reason that I was having issues with that is because I put in NVRAM into the Altec, and all of a sudden it was doing some weird stuff. Turns out the NVRAM was not compatible, but I think he did do something else. So this is the Altec MPU that I sent to Dave. I've got the dip switches set. I've got the clock jumpers on the left here. See these little guys? Just move them over to the left, a couple pins. We got NVRAM. I don't remember what I put in place of this board. I think I just probably had a newer Altec that I stuck in Harlem Globetrotters. Pretty sure of it. So this is a bit of an older style. You can see it used to have a battery pack here. And it was the batteries were wired off the board, but no longer. We got NVRAM. So I think this is a perfect candidate for Nugent. So we think a known working solenoid driver, a good Altec board, and a power supply giving us some good voltages. So this might be a successful test. I have faith. You guys have faith? Okay, let's zoom out. And yeah, okay. No more suspense. Let's just do it in 3, 2, 1. Okay, there's a flicker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we got a bit of a squelch from the soundboard. It's pretty obnoxious. Let's turn this down. Okay. Yeah, I remember on the Sterns, it's like, seems backwards, the volume. So that doesn't sound too great. I'll just keep it on low. But I'm not too overly concerned about that, because we are booted. Let's see, do you think this is a locked on lamp? Oh, no. Okay, just a few bulbs out there. Interesting. This red light on the Alltech, I think that just means we got our 5 volts. Not too concerned about that. Okay, well, I guess the next thing to do, let's check our displays. Oh. Okay. Got no player 1 display, and all the rest of our displays are flickery and dim. Maybe that's because we're getting too much voltage from the power supply. We can check the voltage at the display itself. Shall we do that just while we're here? Okay, let's put our ground strap right here. Okay, turn this to DC volts. And undo our ground strap, redo our ground. Come on, get in there. There's a test point right here. Not sure which one. Test point 3? What is that giving us? Nothing. Okay. Test point 5. It's not really seemingly doing anything. Is there another test point somewhere? Different displays are different. Actually, this looks like it's a Bally display. Here's a Stern one. Test points in different locations. Okay. If we are getting too much voltage, you know what? Now that everything's connected, I should remeasure the voltage on the power supply. Make sure it's not outputting too much voltage. But before we do that, let's hit the start button. Ugh, okay, let's hit the credit button. Come on. Here, we need something metal. We're going to short the switches together. Short the lugs together. Let's see what happens if we get some credit ups tune. You know, over here. That should be giving me credits. Okay. We're in a weird state of sort of attract mode, but not much else is happening. Okay. And what? Why do we got a 1 there? Okay. We got life, I would call it, but it's like halfway between life and death, so got some progress. I'm gonna mess around. I'll report back. Okay, just wanted to share my progress thus far. I have been able to get the game to start. Display number 1 had nothing on it, so I switched it with display number 2, and I disconnected 2, 3, and 4 for now. And as you can see, I've got a score. I left the credit display in. I think the 1, not really sure what the 1 represents, 1 credit or something. It says there's no free play on the Alltech, so, but I didn't add any credit, so maybe there is free play. So I do not have out-hole solenoid, but check this out. Got flippers, and they're actually giving me some points there. But I do not have Out hole solenoid, drop targets. What about this guy? Nope. Pop bumpers? Nope. And drop targets. Are these guys stuck? No. But look, I can score points with rollover switches and stuff. What about slingshots? No. Okay. I wonder if that one connector is wired up wrong. No, it seemed fine though. But something is obviously awry. But I am sort of playing a game. 3. Does that mean I'm on ball 3? Is that what that means? Let's drain out, then see what happens. Okay. Game over lights came on. And flashing the high score to date. Alright, well, sort of getting there. Back in attract mode. Alright, I gotta figure out where all my solenoid voltage went. Look what I found. Uh-huh. I think I know how to get my solenoids back. Alright, I replaced the 1 amp slow blow fuse under the playfield. I reset the drop targets manually. And we're going to see if we've got action now. Okay. I don't know why the thing boots up so friggin' quick. Seems a little weird, but I'm not going to complain about that. Usually the 7 flashes are a little slower, but maybe that's an Alltech thing. And I just forgot. Okay, so now it says 0 on that display. I'm going to hit the start button. And we should hopefully have a ball kick out. Ready? Oh, you son of a... Yeah, son of a... I bet ya the fuse blew as soon as we powered it on. I can't do this one-handed, so I'll be right back. Okay, did I even have credits? Like, did I even start a game? I don't know. I just think maybe I added some credits this time by shorting the switch, and because I think that the setting might be to not show the credits. This is ball and play credits, but the credits displayed might be off, and I can't hear if I'm adding credits because I have the soundboard disconnected. So maybe I have credits now and maybe I didn't before. I checked the fuse and it looks fine, so if I hit the start button now, and I actually have credits, then maybe it'll work now. Oh shit, it did. Okay, we might be live, boys and girls. Let's give her a try. Pop bumpers coming up. There we go. Saucer. Drop targets. That's a little crusty. Okay, sweet. Let's check these guys out. And reset. Boom. Okay, so one of these guys, this is something's going on, a little fudgy there. And I don't like it. I think it's this top drop target. I feel like it's trying to reset, but it's... There we go. It is that drop target. Okay, cool. Boom. And sling and schlong. Sweet. We're live, boys and girls. We got score. We got displays. We got game. Okay. Cool. Let's play a quick little ball. One-handed. Ooh. Remember I told you about how Captain Fantastic-y it is? With that upper flipper into the drop targets? It still feels that way. I mean, it feels that way actually playing it, not just looking at it. Okay, cool. So, we're halfway there. Next thing we got to do is figure out what's going on with the soundboard. Ooh! That upper flipper is like almost facing backwards. And what is pretty cool is that you can shoot it in behind that upper flipper. Did you notice that? Look at this. And there's a little rollover button to indicate that you've done that. That's like some pre-Spider-Man action there. Some Steve Ritchie Star Wars Pro. Oh, that was cute. This is the early version. And I think this was, what, designed by Kimek? Is that what we read on the Internet Pinball Database? Collecting up me some bonus. I'm blowing up this shit right here as we speak. 5x multiplier. No idea what I'm doing. This may be the first time I've even played Nugent in my life. Oh, poo. Alright. I know the soundboard I don't think is too exciting, but I think it's going to be better than your Gottlieb System 1. Boop, 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 boop. So, let's drain out here. Let's see if that changes to 3. Yeah, okay, so that's ball in play. Skill shot up top there for 9,000. Oh yeah, we've been there before. Okay, let's drain out here. We're set for 3 balls. Yep, okay. What do you know? We've got action. Okay, cool. One more thing I'm going to try and do before I wrap up this video is see if I can get some sound. I'll be right back. Okay, so there's the original soundboard. I don't know what its problem is, but it doesn't seem to be working. So I popped in this random one. It looks like someone tried to fix. Jumper back there. Then I found this board. I was just plugging it in, and look what I found on the back. From Corey, 100% Stern SB100. So I remember buying this off Corey. It was years ago, before COVID's. So at least probably 2-3 years ago, is my guess. And let's see if Corey's 100% is actually 100%. So, Corey, this better work. I want a refund, damn it. Okay, here we go. Throw the ball in here. Whoa. Okay, well, that would be sound. That was pretty horrible sound, but it was sound. Maybe the speaker itself is a little bit screwy, but okay, well, let's remove this. And see, all you have to do to fix a pinball machine is replace everything, and you're good to go. Okay, let's not jump the gun just yet. Let's hit the start button. What? No coin up, startup tune? Okay, what about a rollover switch? I think I need to turn up the volume more. Sounds like crap. Whoa, is that like supposed to be the strumming of a guitar? Huh. Actually, I gotta just find the right volume here. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, we got 2 different sounds. Let's try the spinner. Okay, drop targets. Wow. Okay, well. Oh, bonus collect. I'm gonna have to watch some gameplay video to kind of see what it really should sound like compared to what it is sounding like. What about pop bumper? So I feel like I'm only getting like a high-pitched guitar, low-pitched guitar. There we go. Yeah. Rebound switch here? No? So we got our 3 tones. Wait. I feel like I'm playing guitar. Okay. What do you know? Look at that. Nugent would be proud. Okay, well, I think I'll finish on that note, figuratively and literally. And yeah, well, it's come a long way, that's for sure. We've made some good progress. I will do some. I got a lot more to do, starting with the displays. They look like they're, I don't know, starting looking a little bit better all of a sudden. Maybe a little bit flickery still, but anyway, that's where I'm going to wrap this one up. Nugent, coming to life. All right, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.